Keep it
Film it horizontally.
landscape. Oh, of course. Alright, so we're going to go through the obligatory introduction first, okay? Alright, I hate doing this. Alright, you good?
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, good afternoon. My name is Sergeant First Class Thompson at the University of Connecticut. I am the MS3 instructor. Today we have some MS3s and MS2s. We're going to be conducting a crawl, walkthrough, talk-through version of what we learned in the class last week, which was the linear ambush for the squad at the squad level. With that, the overall risk mitigation for this training event is going to be low. Keep in mind that due to the lower falling temperatures, cold weather gear should be worn. However, during movement, downgrade as necessary to mitigate heat casualties. Even though it is cold weather, there is a still risk for a heat casualty. We will be conducting movement through the wood line, so there is a hazard of trips, slips, and falls. Keep in mind that due to the muddy conditions, the rocks and the moss, be sure-footed where you place your steps. There is hand sanitizer and additional masks for COVID restrictions in the vehicles for your need if you have been identified as symptomatic for COVID flu symptoms. We don't want to permeate the class formation with sick and injuries that will result in loss of lab and class training time. All right. We're going to go into, for the objectives today, we're going to review, remind, and refresh what we learned in class last week with regards to the squad ambush. We're going to discuss the key aspects of the task and purpose of a squad ambush. We're also going to review the fundamentals of an ambush, how to go from start to finish, that is from the ORP to actions on the objective at the LOA, and back to reconsolidation reorganization at the rally point. Any questions up to this point? We'll have a quick practical exercise near the beginning where we will go ahead and establish ORPs. I will break you down into 2 squad groups. We're going to assess and evaluate. You'll have 15 minutes to establish an ORP. Once complete, then you'll walk me through those steps. We'll refine and adjust where were the steps that we missed, as well as going forward, how can we improve that posture to maintain a quick, timely occupation. Okay? So, pause. We've occupied a general area for the ORP. Before we go right into the class, I want to start with a AAR conversation about the lab. The previous lab, what was the mission? For the lab? What was the squad? Squad attack. Okay. What squad were you in the second squad. So, from your perspective, what was your role?
Bravo team leader.
As a Bravo team leader, what did you do in the lab?
I just organized my team, did rehearsals for DPW, and then I also was on the assault line.
Okay, so for your assault line, talking from ORP setup, how did that go?
It was good. While the patrol base, or sorry, the ORP was being set up and the squad leaders were doing the training model, the team leaders and I did rehearsals for the respective tasks.
Was anyone else in the team leader position? All right, so we had quite a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For us 5 that were in team leader positions, was there any issues with the occupation of the ORP? If so, what were they?
Squad was small, so it was hard to strong point every point that needed.
So if the squad was smaller, what size were you working with?
I had 3 people on my team.
Okay. You had 3 on your team?
Yeah.
To include yourself?
4 on my team, including myself.
That's standard for a team. Okay. So we'll walk through how to establish with 4 people and then what your role is within that. While you're circulating the perimeter, trooping the line, receiving guidance, and disseminating information. Okay. Now, when we moved out from the ORP, how was the movement? Well,
We hit into 2 LGAs. It at first it was a little slow just because we were trying to figure out what to do, but then we realized that we see the bump method, so from there we were able to continue on.
as a whole element or as a recon?
As a whole element and a recon for the cross LGA.
So with our LDA crossing, you chose which one?
The bump method,
Why did you go with the bump?
because that's what we were taught in the lab before for the
So
IMCs.
we're falling back on previous knowledge. Okay. Now, when we got to the actions on the objective, how did that go with you? The biggest constraint I saw was time, obviously, because we're already approaching end of lab by the time we hit the LOA. But when we hit that LOA, what was the withdrawal procedures or the actions on the objective procedures with regards to specialty teams? How'd those go? Was there any issues? Did everybody knew what they were doing? A lot of north to south?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're confident in those things? Alright, so if we're confident in those things, then I'm going to be hands off on that part, and then we're going to see how you do, okay? Alright, you good? Pause it. Okay, so I'm going to break y'all up into two groups. We have one ORP, and then we'll have another one down here. Okay, I currently have 1309. You'll have 15 minutes to establish a full ORP, 2 standard. That includes transition from 360 degree security, strong pointing to 10, 2, 4, and 8, to transitioning from short hole posture to long hole posture, spot checking, and then calling up your op schedule. Understand, guys? Yes.
How do you strong point with only 4 people on your team? Because we didn't strong point as well because we had too little mass. So how would you proceed in that?
Okay, so I hear that the biggest issue right now is how are we strong pointing when there's 3 people, not including ourselves as a team leader, right? Well, who's part of that perimeter? The team leaders, the Susan members. So, if we're part of the team, does that allow for 2 groups in each team to be strong pointing? The mindset that we have to get out of is that because I have a leadership in my title, that I need to do something besides security as well. Is that correct? Okay, so we'll address that. So, go to the standard. It's 1310. We still have 1315. I'm going to break y'all up into 2 groups, and then we'll evaluate. Okay? All right. So I need a volunteer for a squad leaders. 2 of them. Boom. Wiser and Willett. All right. The W's. W and W. All right. So we're going to get 2 wins, right? Okay. Now I need 2 team leaders. Alphas. Majumdar and Quinnell. Okay. And 2 Bravos. We got Pal and Henry. Okay, so Willett, you have Quinnell and Powell. Weiser, you have Majumdar and Henry. Okay, y'all 3 over there. Y'all 3 over here. So we have 2, 4, 6. Okay, so I'm gonna give this 4 to y'all. These 4, a total of 7. So already we have 1 constraint, which is our personnel. Correct? Because we're not at a full capacity for a squad. So we'll simulate that those personnel are gone. Okay? Afterwards, the things that I'm going to be looking for, we're issuing out task condition standards. We're in placing sequentially around the clock to ensure security at all times. When we transition from our short haul to our long haul posture, we're doing that hasty lace of each soldier. We're getting we're giving updates on our location, the direction of movement that we're heading to next, as well as the lesson right limits, good visibility and limited visibility. Good visibility is going to be nothing more from that tree to that rock, and from that rock to that tree. And limited visibility or nighttime or dusk or EENT, end of the evening nautical twilight, that is nothing an hour prior to sunset. That's nothing more than giving hard azimuths, as well as giving them a 6-digit grid to their current location and where we're heading from there. Okay? Remember, what makes the U.S. Army the greatest is that we keep everyone informed down to the lowest level. So if you were to pass away, God forbid, the mission will continue. So if you catch a round to the chest, just keep in mind at the back of your head that at the end of the day, other people will die with you that day. You won't be the only one gone. Obviously the enemy. Okay? All right. You pause. So, landscape.
My bad.
Now I gotta do more post-editing. All right, Willett. So explain to us how you establish your ORP and what positions you in place and why.
So I first began with the 12 at 6 o'clock to get my bearing. So 12, 6. I had Alpha Team going 12 to 6 through the 3. So I had my team leader pick spots to split up his team. Okay. And then I did the opposite with the Zone team leader going to 9. I couldn't get a perfect kind of overlay of the circle due to the terrain, but I think the positions are adequate enough. And then once they were set up, I had them do their sector sketches, and then once they did, I collected them all to get a overlay of the area.
All right, so someone explain to me. You didn't place it at the 8 or the 10. Is this acceptable? Or should we fail him? Crucify him. Is this acceptable? We have the 9 and the 7. Yes, no, and why?
I think it's acceptable, but you put them with better coverage, so there's not as much bigger trees. So he placed them where like they could be more covered properly.
Okay, so he chose how best to employ for cover and concealment, right? That was a priority. Okay. Did we maintain interlocking sectors of 5? That's the question. Did you?
No.
I believe right here is not a bunch of overlap. I think over here it's pretty good. There's notionally another person.
Yes.
Him. So I think this is a good overlap, but here it is a bit lacking.
So just like we learned in our assault lines, it's generally on line. So if some of us are forward a little bit or not, as long as we're not intruding on our sectors of fire, this is acceptable. Is there any way you could have improved it? Yeah.
I probably could have positioned another group a bit closer this way, which I think it is kind of open here because it'd be difficult for them to cover all the way over here and for them to turn all the way over there. Other than that, I think everyone has pretty good cover concealment for the terrain available.
So one of the concerns that we always have as a cadet is if I can't see my people, then I can't control my people, right? So when we're talking about our C2 node or the center point of the ORP, can I push out further? How far should we push out at a minimum?
35 meters.
Why?
Because that's hand grenade.
Right. Your job as the perimeter is to keep me alive, the C2. That's the squad leader and the RTO. And then at higher echelons, PL, platoon sergeant, and the RTO, FO, and medic. Okay? So how do we keep them alive?
35 meters.
They have interlocking sectors of fire. So my 2 o'clock and my 4 o'clock, where they can cover each other, should intersect at about 35 meters. So when I'm assigning my right limit for them and my left limit, it should reach out and intersect at 35 meters. So that way, if something happens to them, or they're in contact, or they're sleeping and they're in contact with their eyelids, right? Then we have our 4 o'clock who can cover that sector. So if they're shooting from here and the enemy's outmaneuvering or flanking, and they will not be caught unaware because they have that sector. And that 35 meters protects them from hand grenade range. And it super protects me because now it's 70 meters. Does that make sense? So looking around this terrain, where is somewhere that we could identify this gap right here and maximize the 9 o'clock to a better position? This small tree right here? Okay. So we're still in what mindset? Keeping it close to feel comfortable.
Over there, it's kind of going a little bit downhill. To me, that would be a good spot because then you can see if anyone's coming up on you.
Which means that we're identifying, what's that called? What type of down area is that called?
Like elevation.
No.
Pretty wet.
A hill? A slope?
No, what's it called? Dead?
Dead space?
Dead space, right? We're identifying dead space in the area and maximizing how we can cover it. So do we see this hill just offset right there?
Yep.
What's keeping us from pushing them out that far? Discomfort, right? That's what I'm getting at. It's discomfort and furthering our distance. But if we put them out that much further, they do have the slope for their advantage. You don't have to put them on the military crest. You can put them on the all sides of it, so that way they're not silhouetting on the top. But now they can see behind there, because if the enemy's direction of approach is onward from us on that hilltop, is that hilltop's back area providing them cover from us? Is it providing them concealment on their approach?
Yes.
So when we look around, is there a way that we can readjust our perimeter?
Yes.
Yes, right? That's the mindset we want to get into. It's what is around me? Is there dead space? Is there potential high avenues of approach or natural lines of drift? And do they need my attention? If so, which one is the most lethal direction or avenue of approach from the enemy? That's where I put my gun. Make sense? Okay. So good exercise. Bring it in. Now I'm the squad leader and I'm going to show you how I'll do it. Okay? So let's bring it in. Okay, with an ORP, we have two methods. We conduct a security halt, and then we send out a leader's recon, clear the ORP of ash, brass, and trash, confirm if it's easy away, provide, and if it meets all those criteria, in place security to pick up the main element to occupy deliberately the ORP. That sounds like a lot, right? In regards to what? How much time we have, both at lab and at CST. Oftentimes, we're going to find ourselves occupying by force. The method I will show you is occupation by force. In other words, we're going to go into the ORP from our method of our direction of travel. Okay? We're not going to go halt, recon, return, occupy. Okay? So, let's have Tactics and Willett. You're going to be my Bravo team leader, my Alpha team leader. Quinnell, you look like one of my old machine gunners, so you're going to be the machine gunner. That gives Perkins and Carpenter, you're going to be the AG because you're already like ready to go. The AB, okay? Because y'all got backpacks. This is my machine gun team. So where do they fall in the order of march? With who? Squad leader in headquarters. Okay? So I'm gonna have Hal, Bidon, Weiser, D'Souza, Bravo team. Okay? And then for tactics, Majumdar, Hadid, Henry, and Carlson. Right? You four over here. And then because Sergeant Thompson is fickle, I'm gonna get rid of Colson and I'm gonna get rid of D'Souza. Okay? So now we have 4 and 4, and then I have my machine gun team, me and the RTO. Okay? Now, we have a Ranger squad or an infantry squad plus with the attachment of the machine gun team. Okay? A machine gun is an attachment because it is not organic to the squad, to a conventional squad. It is supplemented by the platoon. The platoon has gun 1 and gun 2. The squad does not. Okay? So, rifleman, grenadier, automatic rifleman. Team leader. Okay? Team leader, automatic rifleman, grenadier, rifleman. Okay? So, Alpha automatic rifleman, Alpha grenadier, Alpha rifleman. Bravo team leader, Bravo automatic rifleman, Bravo grenadier, Bravo rifleman. Correct? Okay. Now, when we move out, how are we moving? In a what formation? Wedge formation. So when we identify it, we go from highest echelon down to lowest. So it's going to be a squad what?
Column fire wedge.
And then fire team wedge. So, are we in suspected enemy contact? Enemy contact is possible. Enemy contact is theoretical, not imminent. So what type of traveling formation are we employing? Traveling overwatch. That means from the last man in Alpha team to the first man in headquarters is going to be how far? 50 meters. Now, from the last man in Bravo, headquarters to the first man in Bravo team, how far? 35 meters. Why is the separation different between the Alpha and headquarters and then the headquarters and Bravo?
Because the Alpha team's more likely to make contact.
And we make contact with what? The smallest element possible, right? That's why we give them lead time. Almost like bait, but we like to do a little bit more than bait tactics. Okay? So, tactics stressed off here. Now, we're in the assembly area, right? We've issued phase 1 of the operations order. The site of this operation is the publication of the warning order, operations order, and the rehearsals, right, for actions on its priority, moving downward. And then rehearsals with specialty teams, preparation of men's weapons equipment. So we've moved out from there, and now we're going into phase 2, which is the infiltration. When we're in the assembly area or the attack position of the patrol base, we're moving from the platoon's main element. When we move from the platoon's main element, we're in a squad column team wedge. We always conduct SILs 300 meters away from that position where we stop with listen smell, denoted by my non-firing and cupping my non-firing here. The purpose for this is because I have moved further from the main element, they can no longer support me with direct fire weapon systems, my M4s. They are zeroed at 300, right? Even though we have point and area at 5 and 600. So because they can no longer support us being alone and afraid in Banton's Big Pin is resulting in what? We need to acclimate ourselves to the environment's local fauna and flora. If the birds are chirping away and we're used to this, what happens when they go dead silent?
Might be people.
There's a tsunami coming, right? A fire NATO, a sharknado, something of that nature is going to come that's disrupting the local fauna and the flora. If I'm walking and I see deer sprinting out of the woods, that's probably going to alert me to something in the immediate presence of the area, right? Same with the flora. You hear the canopy? How it's like, sounds like a rainmaker, like those rain sticks. So if I hear a big crash or a boom or a crack, is that going to be natural to the terrain?
No.
So because we are alone and afraid, we conduct that SILS. SILS is nothing more than the alpha team leader. He can give me a pace count and say we've gone 300 meters and then halt us, and then we'll get down on a knee. We'll maintain the short hold posture. Short hold posture is nothing more than me behind cover or concealment or both, pulling security with my rucksack on. From here, I will stop all unnecessary movement. I will become aware of my surroundings, looking and listening for anything out of the normal or familiarizing myself with what is now normal. Any new smells, right? If we smell somebody having a cigarette or a vape pen, when you haven't been taking a shower or anything for a week, that smell carries. Perfumes, all those things carry, right? Or OPFOR on their cell phone. Like, oh, now the enemy's over this way, right? So we stop with listening to smell. This will last 3 to 5 minutes or as long as the squad leader deems necessary. If I have deemed it unnecessary after 2 minutes, then I will cancel SILS with nothing more than my non-firing hand making a slashing motion on my weak side. Make sense? Now we will occupy 3-6, we will move out. So we moved out. Now we're bypassing, setting up within 300 meters of the tentative ORP, and we're at the 6 o'clock of the ORP. So we're going to get into that formation. Now, if I'm a squad leader, I typically don't have enough personnel to create choke points and move people out. But the person that's always creating those choke points is a Bravo team leader because he's the trail element. So as a trail leader who best simulates a platoon sergeant at a squad level, his concern is men's weapon and equipment. If his concern is men's weapon and equipment and 100% accountability of all men personnel, then he's the one to count us out. My head count, what's my head count? If I'm the squad leader, I look back, if he goes like this, head count good, then that means I'm at 100%. Because my trail leaders made that the notion, okay? So let's move back past this epic dead log, which will provide an excellent one, and let's get in that formation. So we're gonna go Alpha team, headquarters, and then Bravo team. I'm gonna cut it down.
Ah, Roger.
Because there's certain objectives I have to talk about in a minute. You doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Just looking at this epic footage.
Okay. Tactics, what are they dressed off of?
No problem, man.
Alright, so they're dressed off you. A good rule of thumb is if you're on the right side, they should be at your 10 o'clock. So if I hold out my hands like this, then if I'm like right here, tactics should be at my 10. If I'm on the left side, my right arm should be at my 2 o'clock, and that's when I'll find tactics. So when you're walking, that's an ideal method. So if you find yourself in front of them, or they wagon wheel, you can hold in place while they get back into that position. Okay? Now, we moved out. Tactics to identify our OLP is at the 6 o'clock. We are at the 6 o'clock of the OLP. He will give the halt. Once you get that halt, we'll get on a knee. Now, controlling the direction and inflection of the platoon, the squad correction, but I control what signals get sent up. So if they thinks there's an LDA up there, I'm going to verify. If upon my verification, I say we blow through it, then we'll pick up and move. Then I won't send it up. But if we identify it's an active LDA, I push up, danger area. Then you echo it. The team leader doesn't make those calls, the leader of the formation does. Makes sense? So, whenever I move, to prevent me from running around with my head cut off, the Bravo team leader goes to the last known position of the squad leader. Okay? So I'm getting up and moving. Where's my Bravo team leader going? Right. So from here, I'm like, why are we halting? And you're like, we've located the ORP. We're at the 6 o'clock of the ORP, right? It looks good. Everything's good to go. So from here, we can reconduct sales. We can pinpoint on the map. From that pinpoint of that ORP, we're pulling out the map. We're identifying our location on the map, and we're confirming up to a 6 to 8 digit grid. So we've confirmed the location. It meets the 3 of the 5 criteria. It's good to go. Now, from there, I can move back to the Bravo team leader, right? And what I can tell him is we're at the ORP. From here, you see how I don't have to run all the way back? And then if we pick up and move, he stands in place until the Bravo team gets flush with him. You see? So you're not running back. I'm not running all the way to the formation. Now, any conversation with the Bravo team leader is not up for debate. I have a point man in charge of route and navigation and maximizing of stealth through the selection of the route. That's why I converse with him. I'm going to tell him, hey, we're at there's the 6 o'clock of the ORP. We're going to occupy the ORP. Make sense? Now, when we do this, we're going to move in. He'll come with me to create that choke point. So, from that choke point, we're going to move up. I'm going to give that hand and arm signal. Get tossed back for the ORP. Right. Bring your choke point here, Willett. Tactics. We're going to move up. We're going to file through that choke point, but from here, tactics. You see how every time I stop, I'm on a knee? I'm not standing around. From here, I'm going to tell him, you see the rough of you? Just past that brash, those rambles. That's going to be the 10 o'clock. Yep. You see this rock off of 2 o'clock. Okay? And then, you see this way? That'll be 8 o'clock. Correction, 4 o'clock. And that hill down there. All right. So, I want you to grab your man and move them into a 360 security. All right. Now we're going to come through. Alpha and Bravo, headquarters come. We're transitioning into that ORP. You come in to get counted. The Alpha team leader, tactics, knows where to in place. Who does he in place with himself?
Machine gunner.
Strong point with him.
Machine gunner. Or
Alpha
AR.
automatic rifleman. Okay? Stand by, tactics. Alright, so now we're going to keep it tight and close so that way everybody can see. Okay? Now, once Bravo team comes through, the machine gun team will come to the center of the ORP. They receive guidance from me in the form of task conditions and standards. Okay? Now, the way this guidance will go is give me tactics and Willett. Once they establish that 360 security, that's nothing more than the Bravo team transitioning from a wedge to a V. And then our Alpha team maintaining that wedge. Now I'm going to give you task condition standards. Before you leave my face, what do you give back?
Back brief.
Back briefs. And then what do I do once you've completed your task?
Spot check.
Spot checks, right? So, tactic, I'm going to tell him, I want you to in place your team at the 10 o'clock and the 2 o'clock. I'm identifying those locations. That is the task. You're going to in place your man at the 10 o'clock and the 2 o'clock. Okay? Conditions. I want you to have interlocking sectors of fire with Bravo team. I want you to move from the 9 o'clock to the 3 o'clock by way of the 12. It is currently 13:47. You have 4 minutes. Go. What's Tactics going to say?
I'm gonna repeat back what you told me, so
So repeat it back.
I'm gonna in place my security on the 10 o'clock and the 2 o'clock. I'll assign interlocking sectors of fire with Bravo team. I will go from the 9 to the 3 by way of the 10, and it is 47, and I will have I forgot the time standard.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Do we see why we give back briefs? Because sometimes the guidance gets lost, or they'll just in place and they'll never come back to check in. Okay? So I'll correct the mistakes that he said. So it's not the 10 o'clock by way of the 12 o'clock. And it's currently 13:48. You have 4 minutes. 13:52. You'll be complete. Okay? You'll transition them from the short hold posture to the long hold posture. Now, once that's complete, I will give Willett, the Bravo team leader, similar guidance. I want you to in place your men, Bravo team, at the 8 o'clock and the 4 o'clock. I want you to go from the 9 o'clock to the 3 o'clock to the 9 by way of the 6. I currently have 13:48. You have 4 minutes. Go. So once they go out and do that, before we leave, what do we say?
I will position my team at the 8 o'clock and the 4 o'clock. I will have intersecting fires with Alpha Team, and I will be, by now, at 13:49, I will be done by 13:53, and I'll go by 3 to 9 by way of the 6.
Perfect. So, task conditions understood. Back brief ensures that guidance is acknowledged, and then they execute to the time standard. Once they are complete, the Alpha team leader will give me the signal that we are good. The Bravo team leader will give me the signal we are good. Does that mean our ORP is complete?
No.
What's missing?
Assignment of the MG team.
Assignment of the machine gun team and
Spot checks.
spot checks, right? So, with those spot checks, if I was a squad leader and we had placed the team here, my team leader placed them here, then I said, no, it's too close. Push further out. Or I could say, shift them over this way. And then I will reissue a standard of time to complete the task. They'll execute. Now, once they're in that short hold posture, things that we do, D'Souza, relinquish your badge. So, simulating this is my rucksack. It's almost a rucksack. Okay, so once we're here, let's say this is my strong pointed position of cover. Now, Willett will do one of two things as a team leader. Let's say I'm the automatic rifleman. If I'm the automatic rifleman, he'll get down into that short hold posture and pull security, continuous security. So, pull security. And then he'll tell me at this time, transition to the long haul posture. From there, I will take off my rucksack. Rucksack frame facing down, the opening of the flaps towards the center. So as I'm pulling security, I can access pouches. Anything that's exposed or luminescent is in the center and not towards the enemy with any form of glint, reflecting, or giving away my position. Then I will transition down. Does this make sense? Okay. Now, Willett, you've just been demoted to automatic rifleman. As a team leader, I've seen this often. Now, is this an acceptable standard? All right, Willett. You got the observatory right here to the left? Do you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, because there's no observatory there. I made it up.
Ah.
You see what I'm saying? All right. What about? All right, you see that dead branch past the rocks?
Which one?
All right. You see what I'm saying? We hear that one a lot. All right. You see the dead tree with the termite cave hole inside? Does everybody see the tree I'm pointing out?
Yes.
Does he?
No.
So is this an acceptable echelon to assign left and right sectors of fire?
No.
No. So as a team leader, I will sit right here. I place my hand on their back so I can feel for their source of water. If it's empty, then I can help redistribute water in support of them. At the same time, if I'm placing my weight, I'm not, going to people's elbow on them, okay? But what I'm doing is by placing weight, he may have been pushing through a slip, trip, fall, rolled ankle, or he pulled or something along the route. If he groans, that's going to be a key indicator to me at this point in time that I need to let off of him, and maybe he's not the best person to go on the assault. Now he's more transitioned to ORP security or SNO RP security. Do we understand? Or push him to right flank security, because he's not going to be any good to me. He'll be like, Sergeant, I can go. Don't take me out of the fight, Don't put me on the bench, coach. But sometimes you have to make that decision for them. So when we talk on specialty teams, when I'm signing my sectors of fire, oftentimes adrenaline, dopamine, all that jazz, through the fog of war and in the fog of the battlefield, we're not aware of all the pain. How many of us played through a sport or a game, and then afterwards, we're moaning and groaning, right? We're popping acetaminophen like it's Pez dispensers. So, we're here. I'm checking his water, and from here, I can say, you see right there? See right here? I can also pull out my compass and say, okay, you had 116 degrees left limit, 245 degrees right limit. Make sense? And then from here, I'm like, okay, we're currently at the ORP. Grid is 17 Yankee Mike, 1 through 8. The objective Jade, is to our 2 o'clock, and it's approximately 500 meters. Is he well informed?
Yes.
Am I showing I give a shit about my soldiers?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, I do this with my automatic rifleman. I don't have to do this with my grenadier, my Bravo rifleman, because one is pulling security. Once he says set, then I can take mine down and I can pull security. When we get up, he maintains security. I drop my security. I come in staying low, and I'm like, all right, now you go. Okay? From here, once we've established our left and rights, as a grenadier and a rifleman, we're waiting for the team leader to push us down in here. Okay? What do you notice about my feet?
Interlock.
Touching.
Interlocking. This is for the 3 tap code. 1 tap. Wait. Hey, you awake, Willet? Right? You catch the new Marvels movie?
No, I do
No, you didn't? Alright, that's lame. Go push it. Okay? Right? I'm a DC fan guy. Alright?
Let's go.
Now, 2 taps. Hey, I think I hear something. So he might be like bashing himself internally for not seeing the new Marvels movie. And then when I tap him twice, he's like, oh, screw that, it's time to kill. Something's about to go down. 3 taps, hey, we're getting ready to go. So that means I'm gonna get up. Now he's gonna get up. You see how we do it in sequence? He puts on his ruck, obviously, or D'Souza's National Guard badge, okay? So that's how we transition from short halt to long halt, and place 3-point tap code in effect, give all subsequent data and information about where we've gone, where we're going next in life, and how we've become Grant Cardone multi-billionaires, okay? So, the ORP's established. Everything's good to go. Now I can do what? After that's good to go now.
get started on the leader's recon.
Before I start the leader's recon,
Give Gatwa.
I have to call up my ops schedule, my operational schedule. So now I'm letting them know, hey, we've occupied the ORP, we're ready to go, right? So now we're at we're getting closer towards the field goal, and we're letting higher headquarters know where along the mission we currently are. Okay? Now, we're on the realm of what kind of mission? Ambush. At what echelon?
Squad.
Squad ambush. So for a squad ambush, who am I taking on my leader's recon? Say again? Alpha team leader, who else?
RTO.
No.
Assault rifle. Alpha assault rifle.
No. So let's critically think through this. Who's going to be the left and right flank security?
SNO.
No, not for the recon, for the squad. In the squad, who's going to be the left and right flank security?
Alpha team.
Alpha team. So would it make sense for me to take an SNO from Alpha team? Because they're going to be out here, but I leave my SNO on the objective, right? So where would the SNO position come from?
Bravo.
Bravo.
Bravo. Now, if I'm taking Bravo, who should I have watching the objective? Most casualty producing person on Bravo team.
AR.
So the Bravo automatic rifleman, the bar. And who else? Not the grenadier. Alright. So what does a grenadier do? What is his primary job with that weapon system?
Get behind cover with it. Like shoot
To-
hard to reach spots.
To cover what? What's that called?
Dead space.
That's
Dead space. To cover dead space. So he's probably going to be on what section for this mission? Nope. Nope.
The most likely avenue of approach. If it's
Which is covered by who? What echelon? What team? Left and right flank securities. Okay? So the left and right flank securities is going to be occupied by the Alpha team leader, the Alpha Grenadier, the Bravo Grenadier, and the Alpha Rifleman. So I do not have the Bravo Grenadier to pull from for the SNO. We've already identified the Bravo Automatic Rifleman. Who else? There's only 4 people in Bravo team, right? Bravo team leader, who simulates a platoon sergeant, so he's going to maintain ORP security in my absence, right? So he can't go.
Bravo rifleman.
Bravo Rifleman. Bravo Rifleman. The Bravo Grenadier is going to be that right flank security. So my Bravo Rifleman and my Bravo Automatic Rifleman. Does that make sense now? Why it's done that way? So instead of us trying to always memorize the pictures, think critically through things. I can't take this person because I can't take this person. He's needed there. But I can take this person because he has a role on the assault. Does this make sense? So we've established the Bravo Automatic Rifleman, the Bravo Rifleman. Obviously me, because I'm cool, I go out. Who else? Say again? Alpha team leader. Okay. Now, let's think through this. All 5 points, 5-point contingency plans in the form of got was, right? Going, others, time, actions on contact, me and you, what to do if I don't return, and finally, special instructions in my absence. So, I'm gonna have to give a got to who?
Bravo team leader.
Bravo team leader. Who else?
That's in the left and right securities.
Not yet. SNO. And then who else? It's a trick question this time. I know I don't give out many trick questions. Nope. Why would I give them up? Nope.
RTO.
No. The SNO again.
Huh?
Told you it was a little bit of a trick question. I'm going to give it to the Bravo team leader. We already know why. But I'm giving it to the SNO position for when I emplace them. Remember, a 5 points given every time I move out of sight and sound of an element. So I emplace them, and then I'm going to continue my reconnaissance of left security, right security, support, and assault, right? So I'm going to be moving out of sight and sound because the left security and right security should be theoretically out of view of the assault, right? in order to provide what? Early what?
Warning.
Early warning detection of the enemy's presence and approach. So, I'm going to give one to him then, and then once we come back, I'm going to give a 5 point to the SNO for when we return to pick up the main body. Okay? So, I give all 5 points in my ORP. The reason for this is because I have 360-degree security. I just spent like 10 minutes establishing this, so I should maximize it, right? Now, after I've in place them, I'm going to give a 5 point to the Bravo team leader, the SNO for recon, and the SNO for returning to pick everyone up. So the Bravo team leader's 5 point is going to sound similar to this. I am currently going on a leader's recon of the ORP. In my mind, I need to allocate enough time to conduct the recon and return. So I will be I am going to go conduct a leader's reconnaissance of the ORP. I am taking with myself the Bravo automatic rifleman, the Bravo rifleman, and the Alpha team leader. I will be gone for no less than an hour. If I do not return, I want you to attempt to contact the Alpha team leader, right? Because they're going to have a radio. If you cannot make comms with him, I want you to attempt to contact me every 5 minutes. I want you to try to raise comms with me at 15-minute intervals for 1 hour. If you fail to achieve comms between myself or the Alpha team leader, then seek further guidance from higher. If we receive contact, we will break contact to the ORP. If we can't break contact to the ORP, we'll break contact to the second to last en route rally point and conduct rally point procedures. Now, if you receive contact, I want you to fight in place for as long as you can. We will attempt to break contact to your location. You'll walk us in on the non-contact side. If we can fight the necessary battle drill, we'll fight, or we'll break back to the last rally point. All right? Actions to do on contact, you and me. What to do if I do not return. I've already stressed that with the combo contingency plans. Seek guidance from higher. Attempt to continue mission. If you cannot continue mission, conduct rally point procedures. Okay? The reason why I'm giving it to the Bravo team leader is because now I'm going to pull the Alpha team. Special instructions for the Bravo team leader. Upon receiving my far recognition signal via comms, I want you to transition everybody to a short hold posture and prepare them and stage at the funnel point to count us in and count us back out for the actions on. I want you to finalize preparation of men's weapon equipment, cross-loading all equipment. Redistribute the perimeter in my absence, maintain comms with higher. You have my RTO for that assistance. Okay? So, that's complete. He's executing my will. Now, the Alpha team leader, I'm going to tell him, go ahead, grab the Bravo automatic rifleman and the Bravo rifleman. They're going to begin the cross-load of equipment. That cross-load of equipment is going to be who gets the radio, who has the claymores, and then who has mission essential equipment. Thermals, anti-armor weapon systems would go to the left flank and right flank security, right? We don't want to have a situation where we're putting right flank security out there with no comms, right? This is where we're cross-loading that equipment to ensure the right people have it. So, for example, who should have the Skedco? Alpha team or Bravo team?
Bravo.
Who?
Bravo.
Bravo. Who should have the EPW kit? Alpha or Bravo?
Alpha.
Hmm?
Bravo.
Bravo, right? They're assaulting through. Now, they can cross-load that to where the sensitive site exploitation stuff for the EPW teams and detainees of EPW prisoners, right, will go with them. But they're going to be on the actions on. Left flank security is going to have the other observation equipment. Optics, thermals, nods, anti-armor, engagement systems, RPGs, 320s, all of that nature, okay? So, while they're conducting that, I'm going to give them a 5 point. To the SNO team, hey, we're going to conduct the leader's recon of the left and right flank security, the support by fire, and we will be back in 15 minutes. If we do not return, I want you to attempt to contact either the Alpha team leader, the Bravo team leader, or the RTO. If you cannot achieve any of those on comms, after 15 minutes, I want you to break back to the RP site, attempt to link up with us. Because again, I gave them 15 minutes for the recon. So if they lost comms with us, they can go back to the RP site, the rally point, or the release point, depending on which way we're going. So 5 points are completed. Now, they're not in effect until I give them the cue they're in effect. So, Willett, you're a Bravo team leader. Bravo automatic rifleman, Bravo rifleman, correction, Alpha team leader, and I'm the squad leader. If you don't, you are going to be the Bravo team leader. So you will create the choke point. Now the ORP in good visibility is 2 to 400 meters away from the objective. In limited visibility, it's 2 to 100 meters away from the objective. So the RP is going to be approximately 70 meters, 50 to 70 meters away from the objective. Right? Now, the length of our kill zone should not exceed 35 meters. The reason for that, right, is if we're bringing with our assault element, it's going to be the Bravo automatic rifleman, the Bravo rifleman. Then we're going to have the Alpha rifleman and potentially myself, if I place myself there due to restrictions of combat power to maximize the force, or the any additional riflemen from headquarters. So if it's 5 to 10 meter spacings between them, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, right? And then 25, 35. We have to make sure that we can accommodate the kill zone within that spacing. So because of that, that's why I need to identify the length. That's what I'm thinking about in my mind. We're going to move out. Now, come over. As a squad leader, I'm going to be in trail to keep me alive. Alpha team leader, he's in charge of route land navigation point. He helps create and develop the situational paragraph. He's familiar with the enemy situation, the objective grids, the distance and directions. He'll take point. The Bravo automatic rifleman, left wing, and the Bravo rifleman, right wing. We'll move out in a diamond type formation. So move out. Wow, that's a really tight choke point, Vito. So take a knee, Vito. Right there. And then they're gonna move out. As they move out, go. We'll transition from that file back to that diamond. And the last thing I say, 5 point in effect. So all that 5 point from the GOTWA, special instructions, now she's going to execute all those special instructions. She's keeping an eye on the time. The RTO is going to radio up. Leader's recon has just LD'd the ORP. Okay? So, from here, we've identified the RP. We have our rucksacks on when we move out. A good memory technique for the RP, ruck plan. Okay? This is where we'll drop our rucks. We'll move out. So now we're about 70 meters away from the objective, right? So we'll call that halt. And then we'll take a knee. Now, I'm going to show you the cool guy way of doing sills when you're in a smaller echelon. So, close in on Willett. Awesome. Close in on him. Take the knees facing outward. As if we're still in a diamond. All right. Boots touching. Okay. We'll go here. Okay. You see how I can tap them? Let them know? All right. From here, we're going to conduct sills. We're pretty damn close, right? To initiate sills in this manner, I tap, you tap, tap, tap. Sills has been initiated. 3 to 5 minutes, or as long as the squad leader deems necessary. Right. Sills is complete. How do I cancel it? Noise and light discipline, right? We're out of sight, but not necessarily out of sound of the enemy objective. So, tap. Comes back to me. Sills is complete. Souza, pick up, move 5 meters out. Pick up, move out 5 meters. Boom. We're good. Take a knee. Now we have 300 degree security, right? I can either come right here, so I got rear security, and he can see to the 12, right? Or I can come from here, right? However, we have that 360, we're maintaining 360. At the end of the day, we're still in enemy territory. Okay, so gonna move out from the RP site. So from the RP site, what element am I? I'm the what element? Not the Alpha Team element, but as a squad leader.
Command and
Headquarters.
control.
So when I take out my ruck, this is the headquarters one. He can drop off that ruck here, and you're going to be, which one? Alpha Team. Okay. So from here, we're going to move up, and we're going to recon the SNL position. So we'll go up. From here, we're also confirming, changing, or aborting the objective. We're going to confirm that that's where we want to initiate the ambush. We can also change it. We can push it 300 meters to the left, 300 meters to the right. While doctrine is not prescriptive, it's descriptive. Oftentimes, the reason why we have to hit there specifically is because we have friendly adjacent units operating in our AI. Not our AO necessarily, but our AI. So this is how higher headquarters is deconflicted with those fire control measures, by putting that objective here. However, if we have a left and right wiggle room, and we identify key terrain that will optimize infiltrate fires, attack or initiate an ambush from a higher terrain, then we can push over there. We're not determined to fight here all the time. So we will move up.